Hi friends, this is Miss Holly here to make art with you today. In today's story, we learned about someone who needed some help, and no one would help them until finally a good Samaritan came along and did the right thing. This person couldn't be more different than the person who needed help, yet this is the person who was the most neighborly, is the one who was willing to help. So today's project, I wanted to remind us of the idea that each of us is different. Mr. Mark talked about how we could all say that we're different on the outside, but really the same on the inside, and how maybe that's not exactly true. We're each different and unique, and we should honor each other for those uniquenesses and differences, even if we don't always understand those things. We're different, but we're still important and special, inside and out. So to remind us of that, today's project is going to be creating some people or some characters, figures that are a little bit different. So friends, you're going to need some scraps of paper, whatever you have around the house. That could be magazines, newspapers, junk mail. If you have construction paper, fabulous. Get it all out. We're going to use it today. And if you worked with me last week, we made some different colors, and I might even pull out some of those colors when I was sampling color mixing with crayons. That's also great to use for today's project. So we're going to make a couple figures. They're the same but different, right? They could be same in that we use some of the same colors, red and blue. They're about the same size, aren't they? They have some differences as well. Maybe some different hair or hats, different clothes, different noses, different eyes. Even the way their feet are a little bit different, their legs. On the opposite side, I made a heart for each of them. And I drew some things that I have some friends and people I know who like different things. So I drew some items to represent those. So maybe one of the figures, you could make some things to represent things that you really like. Maybe you could think of a friend, or maybe think of something the opposite of the things that you come up with this part. Maybe you could draw some things that are very different on the other heart. So the first thing I want to do is make the faces. Here's some scrap paper I have. I was playing around with colors. I'm going to use this paper, and instead of drawing on the front, I'm going to flip it over and draw it on the back. I'm going to make kind of a free-form shape here, and I'm going to cut that out. And on another sheet of paper, I'm going to make something similar in size, but a little bit different shape for the other one. And I'm going to cut it out. So I drew on the back side, so I wouldn't have to deal with the pencil mark showing through. Cut it out, and now look, great shape on this side. Now it's time to cut the other. Now I have another shape. Each of these are going to become the faces for my people. I can decide which way is up. So the next step is going to be drawing some faces on my people. So I'm going to make eyes on the people. Maybe this one has eyes that are far apart. And how about a nose? I'm going to just make a big oval shape for the nose here. And I'm going to make my person, the mouth open like they're talking. So I'm using actually a half circle. And I'm going to show their tongue. And I'm going to end up coloring that in. Maybe some crayon to darken that. There I have one face. And I'm going to make another face. I can make this a little bit different. Maybe this person has eyes that are long going this direction. Maybe this person has a real teeny tiny button nose, and maybe they have a really wide smile. All right, so similar but different. Now I'm going to take a black crayon. I'm outlining my pencil lines just to make them show up a bit better. I do the same on my other person. Or you could choose another dark color, maybe a dark blue. Or if you prefer a marker, you could try a marker. But since I colored mine with crayon, it's probably going to be best that I stick with crayon. Maybe grab some other colors. Maybe I give them a red tongue here. Maybe I mix that up with some pink Okay, so you can continue creating faces. Now use your scrap paper, and I could give them some hair or a hat. So maybe this one, I could take my paper and I could just kind of free form here. And I'm going to lightly close that, and I'm going to cut that shape out. All right, I have the first shape ready. And if I don't want the pencils to show, I can flip it the other side and I can glue this on. Now I need to pick some sort of hair or hat for my next person, so get some more scraps out and see what you can come up with. How about some spiky hair on this one? I'm going to just close that shape and cut that one out. Again, since I'm going to flip it over, I don't have to be too terribly careful cutting on the lines, just close enough. Flip it over so I can't see the pencil line. Voila. You could even play around with the hair. Go out the side, to some other direction, more or less, you can decide. And continue working using your scissors. You don't even have to draw each of the shapes. You could just grab a piece of paper and start cutting. Let's see, I'll go with some orange on this one. Be cut out just a rectangular shape. This could become the shirt or the dress or the clothes for someone. And I could play around with other colors. I don't have to use all the same colors. I could grab some of this green, maybe cut some of my green paper. This could become an arm. Just cut freeform shapes and keep working until you've created your person. Now I'm making some legs. Again, I didn't even draw it out. You can just go freeform with this. The legs to go here over, or you could have them tucking under. You can adjust how much is showing. One person could be tall, one could be short. You can just play around with it. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Again, just get out some scraps of paper, do some loose drawings, play around with similarities and differences, and see what you come up with. And let's celebrate the similarities and differences in our artwork.